Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very weird, it's not a weird video, but I haven't done this type of video before, but I'm gonna do it today. Um but it is actually me just giving you guys my honest opinion about relationship advices that people give people. Because the other day I was watching someone's live and the person was like, how would you know if the person you're dating is the one? And the other girl was like, you have to be close to God and you have to pray. And when you pray, you're going to hear from God. And God is going to tell you if he's the one or not. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. Because 80 to 90% of the people who are married today didn't hear anything from God. Like, I'm not saying that you can't pray about your relationship or pray about the person, but like distinctively hear that God said, yeah, Daniel is the one you're gonna marry. I don't think so. So today I'm going to do a video about different advices, what I think are good relationship advice, and the ones that I think are just not achievable or not doable or just basically bullshit. So let's get into the video. So since I told you guys about that story about someone being alive, I'm just going to go ahead and start with that. So first things first, if you are waiting for God to tell you or like hear from God that this person is the right person, then you're going to be waiting for a long time. And and I don't want you to wait for a long time. Point blank period. I do not want you to wait for a long time. So my advice is you have like a list of things that you want, because the thing about knowing who the one is, I don't even like that idea, the idea that there is the one. For me, you can never know if somebody is the one. That's what I tell people, that's what I tell my friends, that's how I tell my younger ones, my sister-in-law, like people around me who are younger and are in a relationship or want to get married. That's what I tell everybody. You can never know if somebody is the one, because there's different situations that would occur and the person would act differently. You can never know. When people die, people grieve differently, and sometimes some people's death is life changing to some people. So what if you marry somebody and they lost their parents and that was a life changing moment and now they're a new person? Would you say they were not the one because they lost their parents? You know what, like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is you cannot know if somebody is the one before you get married. You are hoping and praying that that would be the one, like the person that you choose would be the one that you end up dying with and getting married to forever, because of the actions, experiences, memories that you guys have built up to that point. But at that moment, walking down the aisle, saying your I do's, do you know if this person is the one? You probably not know. And I say this every time because we all make decisions, especially when it comes to relationship. We make relationship decision based on based on emotions, based on memories, based on feelings. It is really not, sometimes you don't get to the logic. So as we go on in the video, I think I'll explain that better and talk more on that because I don't want you guys, I don't want people to be out there just waiting for the one, because really and truly, you have to work with what you have. And most times, effort is all you need, willingness is all you need, teachable spirit is all you need. So, the one, I don't know, but let me get to the advices that I wrote down. And then we can talk. I don't know why I feel like this will like ruffle some people's feathers. But let's get to it. My first thing is your perfect match is out there. I don't even like the word perfect. Um because perfection is a man-made thing. It is something that human beings created. I do not think that God wants anyone to be perfect. And I do not think that if he wanted us to be perfect, he would have created us perfect. I think that there is no perfect person. You can never find a perfect match. And that's just that. Because you can have 100 things that you want in a partner. And if you get 98 things, I would say you should go ahead, and date that person. But some people would say, get to 99.9, or some people would say, get to 80%. But to you, you have to decide what is good enough, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the first thing I wrote down. Your perfect match does not exist. There would be ifs or buts, and you have to work, like I said, work with what you have. But yeah, another one is, this is a very common thing in Nigeria, is playing hard to get. Sometimes play ignorant and things like that. I don't think you should do that, because to me that's just like primary school, secondary school type of thing. If you are watching this, I would assume that you are 18 and above. And even though you're not, you should not play hard to get, because playing hard to get is just toxic. In my opinion, it is toxic. Why are you playing hard to get? You like the person? Yes. Like, state your case and move on. Like, that's how I see it. Playing hard to get is just sending people mixed signals. Like, do you like me? You like me, but you don't want to be with me, but you want to hang out with me. Like, what is that? What is that? I mean, secondary school. Like, get your point out there and express your feelings, express what you think, and stand in it. There's no need to be doing back and forth. Like, that just drives me crazy. Waiting for, a lot of girls do this. They like somebody, and they wait for the person to approach them. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong in waiting for a man to approach you. But when you are starting out in, dating, getting to know each other, if the person is not fully conscious of the energy you're giving, I would say, like, go up front and be like, hey, this is what it is, this is what I feel. Are you interested or not? That's what I think. If that's not your cup of tea, then that's fine. But that's just what I think, because the thing is, you just never know. Like, you just never know if the person was, thinking the same way and didn't want to, step up. And you stepping up is a bold step, which is also very flattering to most men. I know that if a girl walks up to a man and says, you look good, blah blah blah, and begin a conversation, most men really do like things like that. So you waiting for people, especially if you're a woman, if you're waiting for somebody to make the first move, no. If you want to hug somebody, hug them because you want to hug them, not because you know what I'm saying. Like, if you want to kiss somebody because you want to, not like, if that's what you want, then go for what you want. Don't be out here just being like, it's like if you're applying for a job, if you want to be work at a certain company, you're not going to think of it and be like, oh, I'm going to wait for them to make the first move. They don't know who you are. Like, you better go ahead and apply for this job and get this money. All right, so the next one, this is more like an Instagram baddie kind of advice. If they cannot handle you at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best. To me, that's toxic. That is not anything people that are in two matured people in a relationship should be doing. You cannot handle me at your worst. You know, that what are we doing here? Like, can we state what we're doing here? Like, this is not some ping pong game. At least for me, I from when I was 14, the relationship that I was in, I always took it seriously. It was very dear to my heart. And I have never not taken my relationship seriously. And I think that's one of the reasons why I am where I am today. It was because I always took my relationship seriously. So my thing is, when you're at your, like, what does that worst even mean? Like, to me, that's just people who like drama. If you're one of those people that like drama and like all this and like acting crazy, I'm sure you guys would understand this kind of advice. Like, if you cannot handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Like, are you just out here just being angry at people for no reason and getting into trouble? Like, what does that even mean? And in my opinion, you should be accountable. People who don't like taking accountability really do suck at being in a relationship. So for me, if you want to be in a long-term relationship and sustain the relationship and get married one day, and even in your marriage continue being in a good relationship and friendship with your partner, it is the accountability part, being able to take accountability. I was wrong, I'm sorry, I did this, I didn't mean it, this was not my intention, this was what I intended. If you are somebody that can't do that, you can't do that, then relationship will probably be hard for you. This is not Instagram. Like, this is real life. Like, a relationship is not Instagram. It is real life, and you should take it like that. I'm not saying that your partner should leave you when you're going through, like, maybe for instance, if you're depressed or you have mental health or things like that. I'm not saying that your partner should leave you, but what I'm saying is, no matter the amount of support that they can give, you need to take that, because whether you know it or not, you can't force somebody else to do what they don't want to do. Do you understand? And you have to respect that. This is divided into two things. People say, we have to have chemistry. And the other thing is, your partner has to like all the things that you do, or like your hobbies, or be interested in your hobbies, so that you guys can spend more time together. I don't think that's necessarily true. However, there's like some truth to it, and I'll explain why. Now, the whole idea of having chemistry in a relationship, I don't know where it came from. I don't know who invented that word, like having chemistry. But I think that people are different. And so therefore relationships will be different, because in a relationship involves two people. Do you get what I'm saying? So each person's relationship would be different. So therefore chemistry in each relationship would be different. So even if you're dating boy A and you guys were all lovey-dovey, PDA, and you do all that, if that's your definition of chemistry, then you'll be looking for that in all your relationship, and that's fine. And then you meet somebody else who's a man, maybe grown, maybe older, and he doesn't like things like that. He likes being private. Like, he doesn't like, PDA and stuff, which, to each his own, but he loves you regardless, and he would love you regardless, you understand? But he doesn't do that. And then because of that, you don't want to date him. Now, if PDA and things like that is a priority for you, then you might want to consider. But I don't think that chemistry is like a determinant. My thing is, define what chemistry is for you. Some people would say chemistry is, being lovey-dovey, being, kiss me in my forehead when we're outside, hold my hand when we're in the mall, things like that, which is pretty cute, but those things get old really fast. And I'm just being honest. Those things get old really fast. But whatever chemistry is to you, just make sure that it is consistent, and the person that you're going to choose, and you yourself, because before you choose somebody and require somebody to do something for you, you have to look inwards and see if you have what the person is looking for and can give what the person wants too. And then the second part is like your spouse needs to, like the hobbies that you like, or be interested. So you might not really like certain hobbies that your spouse or your partner is doing or does or likes or engages in, but as long as you respect them doing it or express your opinion about it, and if you can show effort, support, then do that. Another advice that I want to talk about is going to bed angry. Now, a lot of people give this advice to a lot of married couples, and I'm not saying that it is bad, but I'm saying that it's not really true, because life does happen and things happen, and sometimes some issues cannot be resolved before you go to bed. So what, we have to talk about it all night before we sleep? Like, no one has time for that. Anger for me is because anger is an emotion which, if you express that emotion, you don't have to sleep angry. So my thing is, sometimes you're not able to express that emotion. You're not able to get over the anger, or things like that, because it's life. Different things happen. For instance, if somebody's husband cheats on them, they're gonna sleep angry. The things that you're angry about are just, life issues. And if it's something that is very heavy and significant, I would say you should talk about it. And if you cannot resolve it before you go to bed, please go to bed and talk about it the next day. Like, don't not sleep because because they said that you should not go to bed angry. Please sleep. So my next advice is, I think this one is now being understood better when it comes to relationships, is like assuming that somebody's going to change in a relationship. No. It's like it's like my first example, like finding the one. You really do not know. You do not know if this person is going to change. You are assuming that they would change, or you are assuming that they would remain the same. But truly and honestly, you do not know. So you have to weigh your options and see if whatever the person is doing, or whatever the person's idea, mindset, or whatever the case may be, you are willing to stay with that bullshit and walk through it, or walk with what you have, like I said. But yeah, the idea that people change or they would change should be one of the last things on your list when you get married, because people do not change except if they come to the consciousness of the things that they're doing and decide to change. And sometimes that takes a whole lot of time, and you don't want to get married on the basis of assumption that you're assuming. No, you want to have clarity at every stage of your relationship. So that's my advice. This is for all my Christian people out there. Now, when you're doing marriage counseling and stuff, they will tell you, forgive and forget and things like that, and don't bring it up again. Now, that in theory is very good, very easy to say, but in practice, forgiving and forgetting do not necessarily go together. Period. Both of them are processes. Now, the process, if you are not a forgiving person, first of all, let's even just say this. If you are somebody that finds it hard to forgive somebody or holds grudges for a long period of time, I would say you should work on that before you get married, because you would have to forgive. Like, forgiving would have to be like a third arm for you in your marriage, because forgiveness, you probably need it every day. Forgive and forgetting is a process, so you have to learn the process, and it doesn't have to come hand in hand. You don't have to forgive and then forget. Like, it doesn't have to go together, is what I'm saying. So if you forgive somebody today, let yourself have that, let yourself process what happened. Let yourself go through the emotions that would come with forgiving. And then if you choose to forget, then that's fine. But if you choose not to forget, also decide how you're going to use the information, because that's why they say what they say. Because when you don't forgive and you forget, how do you bring up that incident? How do you bring up that event? How do you use that information? So if it's becoming to be a form of resentment, and you're using that information or that event or that circumstance or that situation for harm, then you initially did not forgive the person. So that's how it is. Forgiveness, like they always say, forgiveness is not for the person, it's for you. So letting go, finding peace, or whatever the case may be, or just so that your head can just even rest from all the worries of life. That's why people say you should forgive and forget, but it doesn't necessarily have to go together. Time heals all wound. Now, I don't know where people got this from, but what I'm telling you from experience is time does not heal wounds. Physical wounds, maybe yes, but when it comes to relationships and emotional wounds, I do not think time heals all wounds, and I'll tell you why. Now, if somebody hurts you, cheats on you, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, things like that, time will not heal that type of wound. And I'm just being honest. Time would not heal that kind of wound. What will heal it is talking about it, trying to resolve the issues that arise from that, trying to work on the hurt that was created from that, or the distrust, or whatever the case may be, trying to fix yourself from the pain and the hurt that wound is giving you. That's what is going to fix the wound. Time would not heal the wound. I'm just being honest. Time will just make it even worse. Talking about it is what is going to heal the wound. Now, how you talk about it, who you talk about it with, the information you get from talking about things is how you heal. But yeah, time doesn't necessarily heal wounds. I do not agree with that. I used to think that too, but the thing about people that say that is because after some time, you're not necessarily feeling the pain of that incident. So because of that, you just move on. Moving on doesn't mean that you've healed. So if you're in a relationship and something happened, or whatever the case may be, or life happened, and then you move on without fixing, healing, talking, and doing the work, you're gonna act out that situation. So whatever it is, try and work out your differences, try and work out your trauma, try and work out your wounds and your pains and your hurts and all those things. Especially when you're in a relationship, especially when you're in a marriage, you have to communicate, over communicate in some instances. But yeah, you should always put yourself first, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Always put yourself first, always put your emotions first, always put your mental health first, always put yourself first, because you come first before anyone, before your children, before your spouse. You come first. So always put yourself first. Want the best for yourself, want better for yourself, want, choose yourself first at every time, every circumstance. All right, so this will be my last point, and then I would close this video up. I hope you guys like this video, but this is my last point. Now my last point is, you should date a lot of people before you choose who you want to settle down with. Yes and no. And if you know me, you know that I've had one boyfriend my entire life, and I got married to him, and he's now my husband. Now, with that being said, so you already know where I'm going with this. You don't have to you don't have to kiss a lot of frogs to get to your prince. However, before you guys come and cut my throat. However, I think that it is better to do things smartly than to do things foolishly, if that makes sense. Like they say, it's easier to work smarter than to work harder. So my thing is, if you work on yourself, you work on your emotional health, your mental health, your physical health, you know what you want, you set your standards, you have a list of the things that you want in a partner, things like that. You have a spiritual life, you're a Christian, you have a relationship with God. If you work on all those things, you would not have to kiss so many frogs to get to your prince. Now that's just my opinion. To each his own. Everybody's situation is different. But my thing is, you will not have to. Nobody would have to break your heart numerous times for you to learn that you don't like certain things. Like, you get what I'm saying? You won't have to go through so many heartbreaks and things like that to know or to learn or things like that. You will not have to. However, always work on yourself in every relationship. Even in relationship with yourself, you should work on yourself, because at the end of the day, you come first. So if you work on yourself, you know all the things that you like or things that you don't like, what you want in a relationship, what you want in a relationship, what the dreams of a relationships are, and what you dream about a partner to be. When you know all those things, when someone comes up not correct, you already know that this can't happen, this can't work. And if you choose to give that person a chance, then that's that's on you. But I don't think you need to kiss so many frogs to get to a prince. I do not think you need to date 4 or 5 people and then pick from there. Like, what's this? This ain't no candy shop. That you have to taste and know the one that you like. Like, excuse me. But yeah. So that's my opinion when it comes to studying relationship advice. Let me know what you think about the advice that I gave, my opinion. Let me know if you like this kind of video, and I'll do more, definitely. I actually do have a plan of, because I follow a lot of meme and quotes and things and all those things. So I was thinking maybe I'll save a bunch of memes and quotes and give my opinion on them. But I don't know yet. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you. Thank you for coming. Bye.